What to do if the axle flower sword is worn. Find parts to replace in the garbage team. If the master's thinking does not slip, there are really not many splicing of two axle rods. The owner in Peshawar in front of me. Since the half axle spline has been worn out, such a good half axle is reluctant to be scrapped directly, so they can only find their maintenance master to prepare to repair the half axle thoroughly. Before officially starting the processing, the original length of the axle rod must be measured first. The size data of the spline end is recorded on cardboard. The main purpose is that the spline groove cannot be restored, so the master also brought the data to the scrap station to find a replacement key for splicing. After the master's anxious search, he quickly found an active ruler. If it can be welded, Fu first has to perform simple trimming and cutting on the worn flower sword end. The completely reduced convex can be cut inward. In order to balance the force on both ends of the splicing, Fu will use half of the shaft diameter data as a reference to cut and remove the original flower sword end on the axle rod. In this way, the flower sword of the active gear can be docked. After the master confirmed the length of the inner cut, the excess part should be directly removed. Although they did not have a high-end cow knife, Luo Wen knife's cutting was also not slow. The surface of the convex should be cut into threads to ensure that the concentricity of the two is completely accurate. The inner wall of the foil can have a certain force point. After the master simply processed the half shaft, in order to reuse the foil on the active ruler, the father had to use a lathe to completely cut off the entire foil end. There would be errors in the length of the half shaft after splicing. After the master borrowed a cutting groove knife from the next door, the efficiency of cutting was also directly improved a lot. At the same time, after the foil end was successfully separated, it is necessary to splice through the hole position. As for the groove left by the cutting, it needs to be processed flat. There will be a phenomenon of drilling when the drill bit is drilling. The entire foil end needs to be compacted by Luo Wenning. The drill bit needs to be replaced to continuously break holes to ensure that the hole depth is completely consistent with the length of the convex column. In order to prevent overprocessing, the master needs to use a caliper for detailed measurement. The hole cutter can accurately process the hole position. After the master's skilled cutting, only the hair on the inner wall is completely removed. The diameter also fully meets the requirements of splicing. At that time, it is necessary to process the appropriate inner bare grain according to the logic on the elbow-feeling convex column. Although this hole diameter is not convenient for observing the thread, as long as the speed of the tool holder is controlled, the thread pitch of the work will generally not be a problem. Then the two are rotated and docked. The end face of the convex is completely fitted to the bottom of the hole position to prevent the internal hollow bone from affecting the strength of the docking. After confirmation, the gap is fully welded with a welding rod. For this half shaft with high hardness requirements, the master must ensure that there is no residual coating inside to prevent the welding position from being not firm enough. At that time, after consuming 3 welding rods for surfacing, the surface of the weld scar caused by the surfacing should be simply added. Because the flower sword of the active gear still has a bare rod, the half shaft does not need to be fixed with a bare nut. The part outside the position must be completely removed. The end face can reach the original flatness. At that time, after the careful processing of the lathe tool, no splicing marks can be seen at all. This truck half shaft with worn out foil was repaired with scrap driving gear. What do you think of the skills of the Pakistani master?